is a former Trump economic advisor and author of Trumponomics. And Steve, could you tell us what the package is that the Republicans are proposing? It's a couple $1 trillion, but how is it composed?
So, hi, Pat. Hope everyone out there is staying healthy, and thanks for having me on again. You know, this aid package, it's too bad we even need this aid package. You know, when we were talking a month ago, the economy was flying so high. We had the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years and high growth. And here we are now in the midst of this crisis. And, you know, President Trump said it very well, I think, the other night when he said that he is a wartime president. He is a wartime president. And the way he put it is we're fighting a war against an invisible enemy, and that enemy is this virus. The Congress is now moving forward with this aid package. And by the way, Pat, it's 1,400 pages long and getting longer every day. I do support providing some short-term relief for workers because, after all, it's the government that shut down the businesses because by government order. So it's appropriate to provide the aid that people need in the short term to get through this. And then, of course, businesses. We have 26 million small businesses in this country, Pat. 26 million. Those are the backbone of the American economy. Those men and women who we just heard from on your package, who will make the economy work. They are struggling mightily. Many of them have no revenues now for 3 or 4 weeks. Revenues for a business are the oxygen that keep it alive. So there is a package that would provide loans. I want to be very clear about this, Pat. This is not a bailout. It's not a big giveaway. It's a loan program so that businesses that are healthy businesses can get a loan from the government to get through this next 6 months. They will repay that money. And we need that, Pat, because we want these businesses to be able to hit the ground running as soon as we've stabilized the coronavirus. But I've got to say one other thing about this package. It just disgusts me that the Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are trying to turn this into a Christmas tree. And they're putting all of these completely absurd items into that. They're putting in these global warming, climate change things. They want bailouts for union pension plans. They want permanent leave. Those are things that maybe need to be debated, but we got to get this aid out yesterday. It's a scandal that it's taken so long to get this money to the businesses and the workers that need it.
Well, I understand they want to include Planned Parenthood, that any bailouts that Planned Parenthood will be qualified to receive large amounts of government money, and the Republicans say no way. Is that a sticking point?
There are so many sticking points, and you know it's hard for me to even keep up with it because the bill keeps changing all the time. I mean, how hard is it to get this done? You don't need 1,400 pages. You know, you need maybe 100 pages that defines how you're going to give the aid. But there are a lot of people out there that are struggling. You know, we have. This is a scary situation right now. I mean, we have, about 3 or 4 or 5 million people who have already signed up for unemployment insurance. The numbers could go up dramatically, obviously, as the next couple of weeks roll on. It breaks my heart, Pat. I'm on the board of a small company. We have about 40 employees. We're just getting going. And, you know, we had to, in the last couple of days, lay those workers off. It's a terrible thing, you know, to have to lay off workers. And it's happening throughout the economy. And that's why I think the most important thing, Pat, is what Donald Trump said last night in his press conference, where he said, we are going to have a plan to get the American economy up and running in the next few weeks. That has to happen. We can't go 8, 10, 12 weeks without this great American engine of our economy not operating. I mean, there will be tens of millions of unemployed people. There will be millions of business bankruptcies. People will lose their life savings. We need to get the economy up and running again. Obviously, we need to take very prudent steps on the health side to make sure people are safe. But the idea that we're going to keep this economy closed for 3 months, that would be dire. And I say bravo to Donald Trump to starting to take moves to reopen the economy.
The total dimension of the package, are we talking about 2 trillion, a trillion, and 1 trillion, then 3/4, or 3 trillion? How much money are we talking about overall?
Well, I don't know if to laugh or to cry because, you know, every day it seems like the price tag of this goes up, Pat. And, you know, I've got to say something that, look, this aid package has some needed, provisions for people, you know, the $1,000 per household and so on. I think it's now $1,200. That'll provide some short-term relief, and that's necessary for people, especially at the lower income rungs of the ladder and working class people who don't have a lot of savings to draw on. So that's fine. And then they're going to do the aid to the businesses. And by the way, the Federal Reserve Bank yesterday announced they will put new liquidity in the economy. But Pat, it's very simple here. If our businesses are not operating and we're not producing goods and services, it doesn't matter how much money the Federal Reserve prints, and it doesn't matter how much money the Congress appropriates. If there's not goods and services to buy, we're going to run out of things. And so that's why I think Donald Trump is so right to have a plan to get the economy open, especially in areas, look, New York is a special case. New York City is a real problem. San Francisco is a problem. There are some areas of the country where we have some real severe outbreaks of the virus, but other parts of the economy need to be reopened in a smart way. And we have to really, we can't take trillions of dollars of losses. And incidentally, once the coronavirus is stabilized and on a decline, I do believe, I want to sound optimistic here because I am optimistic. I think the economy will boom right back to, it's going to take 6 months to a year, but we're going to get back onto a very healthy pace of growth as we had right before the coronavirus hit.